Good morning and welcome to Wednesday. To today's training, I'm Marshall Burtcher and I help codependents heal, come to know and discover who they are, and create happy relationships in their lives. And I'm excited to have you here today. So let's jump into it. Today we're going to be talking about, I just forgot the title. It's amazing. I just wrote the thing. Reclaiming yourself, your power, and choice. And this is kind of a confronting episode. I know I've had a number of confronting episodes lately. This is important for us to take ownership of where our power is and what we're doing with it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And before we get into that, I need to share this out to the community. The community is your safe haven here on the digital web, on the internet. It's called Thriving Beyond Codependency. It's where you can find support. You can find tools. You can find understanding and guidance and shelter in the world that feels crazy for you. You can actually find out you're not alone in this journey and that there are people who've got your back in this. And that's what we do in the community. The link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube, and you can search it using the term Thriving Beyond Codependency Community. So I've got to get that shared out right now. How's your days going? Mine is going pretty good. We're doing good, so I gotta get out here. It's funny, my brain gets all oriented and then I turn the thing on and it's like, run. So yeah, it's a little much sometimes. Mr. Brain, I love my brain. All right. This can be a confronting episode of sanity here. Reclaiming yourself, your power, and your choice. So earlier today there was a question in the community about choice and whether or not we actually have it. This is probably going to rub a little bit. This is probably going to be a little difficult to chew on at first, but we do. We have choice. The problem is it's unconscious and it's automatic. It's something that is carried through our programming. It's carried with our experience. It's something that's motivated by our fear. So we're being controlled by the impulse, the fear, the gravity or momentum or inertia of what we've always done. And so we have to start to confront that and push against our own internal current about the choices we make. But the trick is, you basically have two states of choice. You have what's called unconscious choice and you have what's called conscious choice. Conscious choice means I know what I'm choosing here. I'm choosing this consequence. I'm willing to choose this consequence and live with it. Because that's ultimately what we're choosing. When we make decisions, hey, Fabiana. When we make decisions, we are making a choice for a consequence. We are choosing a consequence. It's as simple as that. And we have to ask ourselves the questions, does this choice give me a consequence I want to live with? Does this choice bring me a consequence that brings me well-being, happiness, keeps me in myself, adds to my safety, adds to my joy, these kind of things. Then we have unconscious choice, which is a choice that we automatically make in response to something. Sometimes because our brains are hijacked, our nervous systems are activated, that is automatic. We just have to, that's what we do. We still need to own that choice. What this does, by owning the choice of like, okay, I know when I'm in this state, I make this choice, it empowers us to, one, build capacity to stay out of that state, or to build capacity within that state to alter the choice down the road. And three, it allows us to identify our power and start to make different choices down the road. This is the key. We have to bring our unconscious choice into consciousness, and then we have to start owning it. This, I get it. It can be really frustrating to hear. It can be upsetting. It can be confronting. It can really suck. I know. I still do this every day. Is this a choice? Does this choice have a consequence I want to live with? Because I still have automatic impulses. Everybody does. We all have our little autopilots, easier to run on. It's easier to deal with. It's easier to just kind of go with the flow. But if we're to be happy, if we're to thrive, literally reach beyond codependency and connect with our potential and translate our hopes into reality, if we're to live who we are and have a happier life, we have to own our choice. We have to bring our unconscious choices into conscious choices. We have to become sober about it. We have to own it. And that's hard. And it's necessary. It's part of the maturation process of us becoming in our power, becoming empowered. It's letting go of the powerlessness we've assumed we've had because, we make choices, consequence happens. We have the power to evolve the choice. Now, that doesn't mean your first choice is going to stick. It's not going to generally happen. What's going to happen is you have to reinforce the choice over and over and over. So making a choice is the first step into building the ability to sustain the choice. Okay, so it starts off with acknowledging I have the power. I have the choice here. The second step is now I got to build capacity to make the choice, and then third step is build the ability to sustain it so that I can keep going forward with this decision. And that takes time, that takes practice, that requires nervous system regulation, that requires reinforcement of the goodness of your choice despite the consequences that come with it, because sometimes initially it really, really sucks. It requires us to consistently meet our needs and learn how to meet these needs, our emotional needs, and build sustainable relationships and support networks that support us in our sustainability of our choice. See, we're becoming empowered in this. That's the goal. That's the objective, is to acknowledge that, hey, I can do this. But it's a repetitious pattern over and over and over and over and over and over and over. We have to keep making the choice. We have to keep confronting the pain. We have to keep regulating the distress. We have to keep choosing the well-being of ourselves so that we can slowly get out of the pit that we're in. Now, think of choices like rungs on a ladder. So if you're in a pit and you got a ladder that gets you out of it, each choice is another step up that ladder. And sometimes we go back down into the pit, and sometimes we climb a little higher on the ladder. So what? That's normal. That's the process. That's actually how we're building capacity. It's how we're building the ability to sustain the choice. So it's okay. It's okay if you go back. It's okay if you screw up. It's okay if you repeat the thing. But you have to own the choice that you made that put you back in that situation so that you can become more and more sober, more and more capable, and more in your own power to make those choices sustainable in your world. That's the real rub. Yes, unconscious choices, they get us. Yep. Yeah, it's when we're choosing the shit, we have to understand it. We have to say, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing this again and again and again and again. And then that gives us the ability to stop choosing it and start choosing something else. Gives us the ability to really make the lasting change that we're desiring in our world. I know this is confronting. I know this can be really hard to swallow, especially with choices we've made that we're frankly disappointed in or embarrassed by or feel shame about or just plain sucked, right? That is what I call swallowing glass. That's what teaches us and gives us power to choose the alternate options. Because then we have a reference point. We can go, do I really want this pain again? Do I really want this chaos again? Do I really want this in my life again? Or do I want something else? Am I willing to make the choices that will lead me to some other outcome? That's key. This is where we gain our power back. This is where we gain understanding of ourselves. This is where we emerge out of powerlessness. We emerge into powerfulness. It's also where we start to understand what we have real control in and what we don't. Because a lot of times our powerlessness is fixed in the other person choosing or doing something differently. And in this process, it has nothing to do with them. They get to go and be and do whatever they go be and do. Because that's their right. They have autonomy. They have their own power. They get to inherit the consequence of their choices. That is their right. Get out of the way. Your job is to go, wow, what am I choosing? Is this what I want? Does this align with me? Is this my happiness? Or am I stepping on my own toes here? That kind of thing. Yeah, we're going to cycle and we're going to go back. Like Fabiana says, this is a cycle. It's a practice, not an event. We have to get out of event-based thinking and go, you know, I'm just learning. And I learn by repetition. That's how human brains learn anyways, by doing over and over and over. So guys, look at your choices. Confront where you're at in that. What are you choosing over and over and over that's not working for you? What choices do you need to make now? What choices are you ignoring that would benefit your life? That would bring more goodness into your world? I have some choices to change there. These are the things we need to confront so that we can really embrace our power, get back into alignment with ourselves, and have a happier life. It's a simple, it really breaks down to that simplicity. It's difficult, it's not easy. And simple doesn't mean easy. This is one of the most challenging things you'll do in your world. It's one of the most challenging things my clients and students do. And I'm constantly confronting them on choice. I'm constantly confronting myself on choice. Because this is the way it works. We have to embrace where our power is and how we're using it through choice. So, there you go. Okay, I always get a little tense with these. Confronting things are not necessarily my forte. I don't enjoy it. But this is one of those secrets to well-being and happiness, is to embrace the power we have in the choices that we're making. Bring them from unconscious choices to conscious choices and start deliberately asking ourselves, is this choice aligned with a consequence that I want in my life? And that's what we can do. Okay, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for being who you are and the badass that you be. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. Make choices that align with your joy, that challenge you to receive more happiness, to let go of more trauma, to move forward in your well-being. Okay? Let me know how you're doing. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Instagram, nice to see you guys there. And if you're on Facebook, thank you for being here and sharing with me, guys, because you guys are you're the community. So appreciate you. Have a great day, and I will see you in our next video. Bye-bye.